Hey, hello from Costa Rica. It's Terry again with Howler Magazine with another edition brought to you by Quadro Legal. Today, we're going to just do a quick snapshot about the driving requirements and not so much how to dodge all the potholes and all the regulations to driving, but how can you stay legal when it comes to your driver's license? Do you need a driver's license? Well, with me today is Debbie, and she's got a guest she's going to introduce you to talk more about all this legal driving with a license in Costa Rica. Welcome, Debbie.
Hi, Terry. How's everything up in Flamingo?
Oh, it's going great. You know, they got some new road construction that's been completed, which is going to help with the high traffic,
Yes.
high season. So we're excited about that. You've been
That's
traveling
fabulous.
here in Costa Rica for 15 years, and
Yes.
I heard someone say that where I'm at in Guanacaste, the roads were not even paved back 15 years ago.
Oh,
So what's been the
yes.
biggest challenge for you?
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that when everything was, much less developed and a lot less, of course, a lot less traffic, and everything was a gravel road. In fact, when we came the first time up to Guanacaste, to the area by you, that road from Tamarindo that runs over and connects with Santa Cruz, that was totally gravel. It was horrific, and it's so, as we would say, suave now. It's very nice. But there's been a lot of changes. When we first came, they had just finished, I guess, what they like to call that road down in the southern zone, which was paved. And I always say in Costa Rica, especially now, most of the roads are pretty good. And if you're going most tourist places, unless the person's told you they are not on a paved road, driving to and from there is mostly going to be all paved, other than that part kind of between Arenal and Monteverde. I don't know if that'll ever be paved, but once you get up to Monteverde, it's like a super highway, but, so it's not, I don't think it's quite as challenging as it used to be. I think the biggest thing that people don't understand is when we tell them not to drive at night. I'm not quite sure what they think we mean. Like, is it unsafe as far as being robbed, or is it unsafe because I just don't think they understand. And really, it's just the roads in Costa Rica are like roads anywhere out in the country, wherever you're from, whether you're from Europe or America, the United States, or, wherever, Canada. There are country roads with no shoulder. What makes it a little bit more difficult is lots of people walk on those roads at all times, day or night, with motorcycles and on foot and bicycles with babies and baskets and everything. And so it's really good not to do that at night because you can't see as good. And it's just not worth it. It's a little bit, I guess, frustrating for people because it gets dark at 6. And so they want that other 3 hours, right, for their vacation time. But that's just the way it is. And so that's one part of it. But the other part is, like, if you're here and you're moving here, or you have moved or going to move, you've got to figure out, how to keep your license to where you can drive in Costa Rica. And so that's why today I really wanted to, one thing I wanted to say to everyone, if you're watching this today, if you've got someone that has these same questions, please share this with them. Share this video with them, because the internet has just got all kinds of people asking questions about this driving, and so share this with them, have them contact us, you contact us, and if you see this on YouTube, please subscribe and also share. So I want to introduce someone with our office that's an expert on all of this fancy name, and I may say it wrong, homologation. And she's here now, and she's going to tell you everything about the ins and outs of that, and I'm going to let her introduce herself to you. So Sue, can you take it away?
Hello, everyone. This is Sue from Cuatro. Thanks, Debbie and Terry, for having me today. I assist our clients with the driver's license and social security matters. So I assist them through all the homologation process from beginning to end. Thank you.
So it sounds like it could be another thing that's going to be a lot of steps, a lot of documents. And tell us, if I wanted to get my Costa Rica driver's license, tell us what can you do for me? Because I don't want to go through a hassle.
Thanks for your question, Terry. Well, First, we got to determine if you already have your residency approved or if you still don't have your Dimex card on hand. So in the first scenario, if you already have it on hand, then what we do is that we take the clients to the General Directorate for Transit Education for them to get the driver's license homologation. And then we take them to the BCR where they will take a picture and some fingerprints and general information, and they will receive their new Costa Rican driver's license in that appointment. And on the other hand, for our clients that don't have their residency card on hand, they are still eligible to apply. So we just need to vary the requirements a little bit, and we need to use the filing receipt confirmation of residency. But for all of our clients that are thinking about getting their driver's license and still don't have their residency approved, don't forget that you're still eligible to apply.
Super.
Okay, so what I think what you're saying is you have to have your expediente number first, even if you haven't approved yet, right?
Correct, Debbie. Yes. And the requirements are very simple. Well, first we need a medical exam that is carried out by one of our providers, one of our physicians. Then we need an official translation if the driver's license is issued in a language that is different than Spanish. And we always like to carry certified copies of the documents of our clients so we don't have any type of issues on the day of our appointment. So the requirements are simple, but as you guys know, working with public institutions is very hard. So our clients need guidance of someone that knows how to deal with this kind of decentralized institutions.
And if I'm here, if people are coming for a vacation or they're 60, 90, 180 days, is their driver's license, if you got it with your passport, is that all good? You're good to go if you're just here temporarily?
That is also a very good question, Terry. So what happens if you're a tourist, if you haven't applied for residency, can you drive? And the answer is yes. You can drive, but you will have to look at the stamp in your passport to see how long are you allowed to stay in the country, because that will be the period of time that you will be allowed to drive, as long as you carry your foreign driver's license and your passport in your car.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there might be something to tell people about, Terry. Sorry, that when she was talking, I was thinking about that stamp in your passport for people who are coming here as tourists is quite important. People think that no matter when they come into the border, that they're going to get the 180-day stamp, and that's not always the case. And so it's going to depend on a few things, but one thing it will depend on is if they check your return ticket, it will be stamped for that return day. If your return ticket's 180 days, most likely it will say 180, but you need to check that stamp because you may be thinking you have 180 days and then you get, 60 days plus in Costa Rica and you find out like, oh, this expires next week. So you really need to stay on top of that and watch what immigration did, right, Sue?
Correct. Also, you have to our clients have to check the country that they're from, if it's included in the first group of visas, the second or the third, because sometimes clients think that all of them have 180 days, but that's not the case. It depends on the country the client is from. So that's also another detail that we take care of.
Now, you being an agency and you walk expats and new Costa Rica residents through this process, do you got a quick horror story of one where you heard it and you say, you should have called us? You got any stories like that?
Most definitely. I feel, Terry, that the language barrier is something that can really complicate things. As you all know, public institutions in Costa Rica are not required to have a second language besides Spanish, so no one speaks English. So, I've heard horror stories of of people trying to get a hold of a transit officer. They don't understand. They also don't understand the new rules. So clients get confused because, of course, we are informing them about all of these changes. But yeah, I feel like the most complicated thing is the language barrier, and that's why we provide also this assistance, bilingual assistance in all the stages of the process. So communication is key between the clients, the public institutions, and Cuatro.
Okay, so you're up on all the changing regulations, and I knew there's some new ones coming down last month that you're aware of, and that the common person may not know. And you've got all the information; it's up to date. You know who to contact, and you can take care of clients who are needing new driver's licenses. How long is that good for, the Costa Rica driver's license?
Okay, so in the first scenario in which clients already have their Dynex card on hand, the driver's license, the Costa Rican driver's license, will be valid for 3 years. And in the first renewal, they will issue the second card, and it will be valid for 6 years. Now, if you still don't have your residency approved, but you have your Expediente number, the driver's license will be valid for 6 months. But the clients won't have to do the homologation process again. It will just be a quick BCR appointment for renewal.
Okay. And no driving tests, right? You don't have to dodge.
No, no, sir. No driving test, which is also one of the requirements that all of the people that are wanting to get their driver's license don't have to go through the written test and the driving test.
Okay, yeah, because it was way in the 70s back when I had mine. And every day is a challenge here on these Costa Rica roads. The inverted speed bumps, they get me. And some areas are working on it. Some areas are great. You know, it just depends on where you go. Debbie, you got any other information to add?
Yeah, I guess one thing I would add is that, I think from an expat perspective, which I've been doing this for a little bit, the expat life, I think it's really important to understand what a lot of us that come in do not understand. One thing about Costa Rica is that's very different than where we've come from, is that almost everything in Costa Rica is going to require an attorney at some point in your journey. It's very difficult to not need that. Whereas where we come from, you might never need an attorney, right, in your entire life. And this is one of those things where you need someone for this process. I can vouch for that. I had a little bit of problems with mine because, well, one, I did it myself, and two, I had an attorney that was helping me that didn't really understand what was needed. So first I went for now you have to understand, I had to rent a car each time I did this because we only have a quad, which is not good for any long distance, right? So the first trip, I decided that I could go without an appointment, right? Because I'm an old person, and so they'll just let me in. So I did, and we drove 2 hours to Liberia and 2 hours back, and the answer was no. So it was a hard no, right? Okay, all right, fine. Well, so then I get another appointment, and I had my translated driver's license, all my paperwork, everything A-OK. So this time I rent another car. I only had to go to Nicoya this time. Go to Nicoya. I sat in all the chairs, and waited my turn. And it was my turn. Very nice guy there. And that was also no, because the attorney that I used did not know that it had to be an official translation. And in Costa Rica, official means official. It doesn't mean somebody with Google Translate or somebody who speaks 2 languages, right? And that's why I say they didn't know what they were doing. So that's the second rental trip. So then the third one was the charm, as it always is. Third try is a charm. But at that point, I'm over, well, $500 or so in rental cars, for how much it is to rent a car there. And at that time I didn't know about Cuatro Legal. That's been some years and some time back. If I'd known about somebody that could do that, I would have had them help me. So I think it's a good lesson, right? To really think about that and get the help that you need that's why we're here. And I think it's wonderful. And I know Sue's probably got worse stories than that, but that's my personal experience.
Yeah. Sorry, Terry. And the good thing is that we also provide the service all across the country. So even if you're in Rio Plata, which is basically Panama, or if you're in Guanacaste, or if you're in Limon, we have experience in all 13 COSEVI offices regarding the process. So we also give the clients that security that it will be a smooth experience for them to get their driver's license.
Super. That's one, the motto is we care about you. And what a great way when it comes to dealing with a government agency on this issue, driver's license, that there's a resource available for you to take all the pain out of it. I know up in the States, the DMV is the brunt of a lot of jokes. Actually, in a famous cartoon, Costa Rica's mascot, the sloth, is represented as the DMV person at the counter, and how the sloth is so slow. So the DMV up in the States can be a challenge, but fortunately, we've got someone like Cuadro Legal to help us walk through the process of getting that driver's license that you need. Anybody got anything to add?
I don't know. Can you think of anything else, Sue, to add?
From my end, well, if any of the people that are watching this video have any questions regarding the process, we offer courtesy calls so we can guide you to the first step, the second step, and of course our experience with the process. But thank you so much for the space, Debbie and Terry, because I feel that a lot of people need to know how these new regulations are taking place in practice and besides the theoretical part. So thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. It was great. Thank you, Terry. This was wonderful.
Yeah, check out Howler Mag. You'll have the link down below. Another edition comes out, and we actually talk about screaming motorcycles in this next edition, which is something you have to deal with when driving in Costa Rica. But it's all part of the Pura Vida experience. Thank you both, ladies, for being a part. Make sure you check the links provided. The more you know, the better it flows. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.